Ay, sakit ng ulo eh. 7:11 p.m. Today is June 18, 2023. Ako sa Part 3 Evening Edition Power Day Vlog. Kids Paint Last Station.
What followed was one of the greatest naval battles in history. The Americans' might was overwhelming. They sank 4 Japanese aircraft carriers off the coast of Leyte, including the Zunkaku, the Empire's final operational carrier. 3 battleships, 10 cruisers, and many smaller units were sunk by U.S. airmen and radar-guided naval artillery. The Japanese also lost most of their carrier-based air fleet in the battle. The Empire unsurprisingly lacked well-trained and experienced pilots. The Philippine Sea swallowed what was left of them. The Japanese Navy lost the capacity for coordinating future attacks with this battle.
Alright, 1020 to the number of Kids Paint Pictures, Part 3 Evening Edition.
Navy that had once dominated the Pacific. And so the first kamikaze attacks by Japanese planes took place off Leyte. On command, they attacked American ships as
Okay, standby.
a sacrifice in the name of the fatherland, in the tradition of the samurai, a futile sacrifice. November 24th, 1944. From the Mariana Island of Guam, the U.S. Air Force launched its first strategic attack on Tokyo. Capturing the Mariana Islands marked another milestone for America's Pacific strategy. With Guam, Tinian, and Saipan, the U.S. now had 3 airports from which its newest bomber could take flight. The B-29 Super Fortress. With its immense range, the B-29 could reach any target in Japan.
Okay guys, Kids Paint.
By this time, Tokyo and other Japanese cities had become regular targets of American bombs. The newly deployed 20th U.S. Air Force was stationed on Saipan. The battle for the island was extremely bloody and brutal. While 26,000 Japanese soldiers died fanatically defending it, 3,500 soldiers lost their lives on the U.S. side. The horrors of the war were made unbearable on Saipan. Among the dead left behind by the battle were 12,000 Japanese civilians. They killed themselves en masse, even killing their children. The American soldiers were only able to stop and save but a few Japanese. This disturbed the GIs and made them despair. For years, Japanese propaganda had demonized them as the spawn of evil. Out of both fear and a sense of honor, the people of Saipan would rather take their own lives than surrender to American occupying forces. U.S. soldiers searched for survivors, but few were found. The majority were children that had been hidden. Interpreters using megaphones tried to dissuade the desperate from committing suicide. They begged them not to jump and to choose life instead, but to little avail. The American was the devil. At least, that's what propaganda had taught them. They wanted to preserve their purity as well as their honor, so they preferred to die. The Americans also experienced how fanatically a virtually defeated Japan defended itself in the fight for a spot of sand in the Pacific, Iwo Jima. The island, with the prominent mountain Suribachi at its western tip, was only 20 square kilometers in size. A Japanese airbase that the Americans wanted for themselves. For 3 days, they weakened Iwo Jima in preparation for an attack. What they did not know, the enemy had retreated into the depths of the island. The whole island, and the Cinder Mountain, Suribachi in particular, were riddled with caves and tunnels. waited until the storm of steel raging above them was over. The landing began on February 19th. More than 30,000 Marines headed for the only favorable landing section, a beach of black sand on the southern edge of the island. The operation was to be completed in 1 week, and both Iwo Jima and the airfield would be in the hands of the Marines. The defense was led by General Tadamichi Kuribayashi. He was aware that he could not prevent the Americans from taking it. His plan was to inflict the most terrible losses possible on the U.S. soldiers. Kuribayashi spent 2 years in the U.S. He knew the country well and knew how quickly the mood of the American public could change if enough U.S. soldiers were to return dead. As the Marines ventured into the interior of the island, he attacked. Frenetically, the Japanese struggled for every meter. The Americans fought from bunker to bunker. Each position had to be taken individually. There were hundreds of them. On February 23rd, a group of Marines stormed the summit of Suribayashi and raised the Star-Spangled Banner. A second squadron later put up a larger U.S. flag. This was probably the most powerful symbol of the American fight in the Pacific. But the battle was not yet won. Of the soldiers in the picture, 3 more would lose their lives before fighting would cease. From Iwo Jima, fighter planes now accompanied the flying fortresses all the way over the main Japanese islands. In March 1945, 80,000 people died in a single attack on Tokyo. Japan and the Son of Heaven were now exposed to an American firestorm. April 1945, the American fleet lay off Okinawa. The battle for the island was to become the biggest of its kind in the Pacific. It would last for a quarter of a year.
Last session.
The U.S. soldiers set foot on the Japanese motherland, meeting only little resistance on the beach. The enemy had entrenched itself within the island, like Iwo Jima. The first Japanese attack came from the air and targeted the landing fleet. It was the last contingent of the Japanese Air Force. And the planes were manned only by pilots with basic training, who were tasked with sacrificing their lives for the nation. In the first wave, more than 300 suicide planes crashed into the American ships. The Japanese called them the Shinpu Tokotai, or Special Attack Force.
Okay.
In Allied parlance,
Alright.
they soon became known as the Kamikaze. One ship, one plane. That was their mission.
Dapat ay part 4. Thank you for watching the video.